Welcome back to the channel. This is Cyber Vault and I'm Sridhar. When we hear about data breaches, we imagine hackers sitting in dark rooms, breaking through firewalls. But the truth is far more uncomfortable. Some of the largest data leaks don't come from outside attacks. They come from inside the system. Today, we are talking about South Korea's largest e-commerce data breach, where 33.7 million people's personal data was leaked from Coupang, a company trusted by nearly every household in the country. This wasn't just a technical failure. It was a failure of access control, accountability, and security culture. In this episode, you'll understand 1. Why this breach became a national issue. 2. Why non-financial data is still dangerous. 3. And how one forgotten access created long-term damage. This is episode 1 of the Data Leak series, where we explain how real breaches happen and why they don't end when the headlines do. Chapter 1. What is Coupang, and why this matters. Coupang isn't just another shopping app in South Korea. It's the country's largest e-commerce and logistics company, often called the Amazon of Korea, handling everything from groceries and electronics to daily household essentials. For millions of people, Coupang isn't optional anymore. It's part of everyday life. And that's exactly why this matters. Coupang doesn't just store customer names, it stores home addresses, buying habits, daily routines, and behavioral patterns. When data leaks from a platform this deeply embedded into people's lives, it stops being just a company issue and becomes a national privacy problem. Chapter 2. What exactly was leaked? Now let's understand the scale of what actually leaked. The exposed data included names, email addresses, phone numbers, delivery addresses, and partial order histories. Coupang confirmed that payment and card information were not leaked, but that doesn't make this breach minor. When this information is combined, it creates a behavioral map of a person's life, where they live, what they buy, how they spend, and how they can be reached. This breach impacted 33.7 million people, nearly 3 out of every 4 adults in South Korea. Once addresses and habits leak, privacy is already gone. Chapter 3. Why data leakage really matters. This is the most misunderstood part of cybersecurity. People often ask, if my card wasn't leaked, why should I worry? Because data leakage isn't about money first, it's about control, predictability, and trust. Once data leaks, it can't be recalled, fully deleted, or made private again. It circulates, gets copied, sold, and reused. Leaked data lives forever, and every future scam becomes easier because attackers already know who you are and how to approach you. That's why data breaches don't create instant damage, they create long-term risk. Chapter 4. Who will buy this data and why it's valuable. When data leaks, it doesn't disappear. It enters a global underground market where personal data is treated like inventory. Buyers look for verified identities, real phone numbers, accurate delivery addresses, and actual purchase behavior. South Korean consumer data is especially valuable because of high digital trust, strong purchasing power, and deep app dependency. Once sold, this data is reused across multiple criminal operations. Some buyers are organized scam syndicates using it for voice phishing and account takeovers. Others are stalkers and harassers, where leaked addresses turn digital exposure into physical risk. And some buyers aren't criminals in the traditional sense, grey market analysts and corporate intelligence firms extracting market advantage. When customer data leaks, competitive intelligence leaks with it. Chapter 5. What basic data really reveals. What people call basic data is often the most revealing. A home address can suggest income range and lifestyle. Purchase history can expose medical needs, financial stress, or family structure. Delivery timing can reveal daily routines, work schedules, and travel habits. None of this is dangerous on its own, but when combined, it becomes behavioral surveillance, a clear picture of how someone lives. You can change a password, but you can't change your history once it's exposed. Chapter 6. How this breach actually happened. This breach wasn't caused by an external hacker or a cyber attack from outside the company. It was carried out by a former employee whose access was never properly revoked after leaving Coupang. His server tokens remained active, his permissions stayed valid, and over 5 months, he accessed internal systems from overseas and extracted massive customer data. Coupang didn't detect it. They only realized something was wrong after customers received threatening emails containing real order details. This breach wasn't hacked. It was forgotten. Chapter 7: Failure, Fine and Government Intervention. What made this breach worse was the response. Coupang initially claimed only 4,500 users were affected, then 9 days later revised that number to 33.7 million, shattering public trust. In cybersecurity, delay multiplies damage and silence empowers attackers. As the scale became clear, the South Korean government intervened, launching investigations into safeguard violations and possible internal failures. This wasn't Coupang's first warning. Past breaches had exposed customer and delivery data, yet penalties remained negligible. The mindset was clear: fixing security cost more than paying fines. That's reflected in the numbers. Only 0.2% of revenue was spent on security. And attackers don't follow brand slogans. They follow budgets. Final chapter: Why this breach matters. This breach teaches one clear lesson: cybersecurity isn't just about hackers. It's about access, governance, and responsibility. When insiders become attackers, technology alone isn't enough. Process and accountability matter. Data leakage doesn't happen in one moment, it happens through neglect and delay. If this breakdown helped you understand why data leakage really matters, subscribe to CyberVault. Because in cybersecurity, what you don't revoke doesn't just create risk, it destroys trust.